Welcome once again, guys. It's your boy Max Chiwande, and I've got such an enticing guest, Mpati, friend. No, because remember, at the same time, I still have to account to you. There's some things that you give me.
Let's do politics, Max. Let's talk.
How are you, Uncle Jimmy?
I'm good, Max.
Please introduce yourself. Give us that LinkedIn. LinkedIn introduction. They must know you. This is Max man.
Oh, okay. My LinkedIn bio. I don't even have a bio on LinkedIn. So, my name is Maimela Jimmy Mohale. I've been in the innovation, intellectual property, and entrepreneurship space for a while now. Worked at two notable universities: the University of Limpopo and the University of Johannesburg, which is where I am. Right now, dealing with everything and anything entrepreneurship, innovation, intellectual property concerned. So that's me.
Thank you, sir. So with you, I can't just also have a random conversation without a bit of preparation. I need to set my things straight, because you'll chop us. But let me start it off. I think I would like you to break down what is TTO, what is Unipod.
Okay.
Students that come with just an idea.
Okay.
I have questions for these. IP and patent. Prototyping on a budget. Where does money come from? For startups, for startup people. Team.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think we can start there. Your list is quite long.
Okay.
So I'm just going to touch on the things that I'm privy to. So don't be surprised if I don't go through some of the questions. So talking about TTO, Technology Transfer Office, it's often referred to as Office of Technology Transfer, OTT as well. So they just use them interchangeably. So it's an office that was created through statute. Statute meaning through
government.
Through government, through an act.
Is it not an act? I was about to ask.
Yeah, it is an act that was passed by Parliament, was signed into law by the President, and then the regulations had to be also drafted down and also signed into law. And then it's that particular act that mandates to say that intellectual property that emanates from publicly financed research and development must be protected and commercialized.
By who?
That's where we're coming. Must be protected and commercialized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we say must be protected and commercialized, the key important thing says R&D, research and development. Now, who does research and development in South Africa? It's your universities, and I'm talking about public. It's your universities and it's your science councils.
So like what? Research labs?
Such as the CSIR,
Okay, CSIR.
such as the HSRC, such as the South African Medical Research Council. So those are some of the science councils that we have that do R&D. So you've got institutions, 26 of them, then you've got science councils. So those are the main bodies that do R&D, public R&D. I'm not referring to maybe public councils or private councils or private or private universities. Those are private. We're talking about the public ones. So since these public entities, they're funded by the state, right? They're not necessarily state-owned. They are autonomous in their own nature, right?
So government cannot have a say.
They do have a say. It's autonomy. I'm not an expert when it comes to.
But when you say autonomy, I'm getting sovereign.
In other words, they run themselves.
Okay,
yes. But the state does dedicate some people into the councils. These are called ministerial appointees. It's only once.
Can it not be political oversight?
Something like that.
Thank you, sir.
And then it's only when that particular institution cannot run its affairs in order, that's when the state comes in and appoints an administrator to run the institution. I think the most notable case that happened with such a scenarios was, I think there was UNISA. UNISA was almost placed under administration, and then UNISA had to defend itself, said, no, we are self-governing. We have no crisis. So the government, the minister cannot take over through an administrator because we are running our affairs in order. And one of the issues that were also placed under administration that I can remember is the Value University of Technology. It was placed under administration for a while. So it's only when that entity cannot run itself, I'm putting quotation marks, using it quite loosely.
Yes.
That's when the state says, okay, you can't run your affairs, we're going to appoint an administrator, right? And Max made me divert from what we're talking about at OTTs.
No, but it's fine.
So it's through those public entities, right? Government is saying, since we fund these entities, right? Our funding that we put towards those entities should be protected and commercialized, because often before that, universities would do R&D, they would create projects. Then what happens that now companies and entities from outside will come and absorb and commercialize those those innovations elsewhere. That's why even in the Act itself, there are sections that talk about how do you then export IP, like when you're doing offshore licensing, when a company from another country wants to license technologies that exist in South Africa, there are sections that speak to it.
And then just to quickly, I know you know a lot about this.
Yeah.
I'm getting, for someone to understand this, there was a situation that happened with Drakensberg Rooibos.
Okay.
Is there something along those lines that he exported? Because it was a French company apparently that wanted to use our Rooibos, and the Drakensberg people were like, no.
So when it comes to issues such as Rooibos, right? And I say this a lot, and there's intellectual property, right? There are different regimes of intellectual property, right? And the one that you are referring to as well is called geographical indicator, right? Or a mark of origin, or and they call it appellation of origin.
It's okay, so it's
terms,
okay.
Right?
I know,
For example,
two is enough.
If you take out your clothing brand, it will tell you where it was made.
Okay.
No matter the clothing brand, it will tell you made in
Indonesia,
South Africa, made in
Vietnam,
Indonesia, made in China. They will tell you, it's part of a mark of origin, tells you where that particular good comes from, right? The same happens for goods produced in a particular area. I always tell people that, for example, when someone's saying they're drinking champagne, right? Champagne is an area in France where they produce sparkling wine, and that sparkling wine is called champagne.
So I can make champagne exactly even better than Veuve.
Yeah.
It'll never be called champagne.
Yeah, because it's not made in Champagne. Why are you making it? In Joburg. No, and it cuts across different products as well. It goes for cheese, Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan.
But recently, South Africa, we had Karulem as well. We protected that as a geographical indicator. We have Rooibos, even Rooibos as well, because it grows in this particular area. So since predominantly grows in a particular area, so we protect to say that no, if this particular tea grows in this particular area, that's when it gets the name Rooibos. So that when people grow it outside of that particular area, they can't call it Rooibos, right? So that's where things come in. Yes, you do get products outside of South Africa that are called Rooibos, even though the Rooibos tea was not made in the Cedarburg mountains and
Drakensberg.
Yeah, so it does happen. So and most people don't understand, but that is intellectual property. And I think the last time I read about the story is that the farmers as well that were working around, that were living around that mountains, do benefit from the commercialization of that. They last time I checked, I need to verify, but there was a trust that was registered for the people since those Rooibos was harvested in that particular mountain. They were working there, right? And then so that is called benefit sharing. It's called benefit sharing. Okay. So some of it tends to fall within what we call the National Environment Management Biodiversity Act, the NEMBA Act as well, which says that if I come to your area, Max, right? I see that you have a particular special tree.
Okay.
And that special tree, you've been using it for a particular ailment. Maybe you're using it for flu. I can come now to your area, start harvesting that particular plant and making money, and then you don't benefit.
Yeah, okay.
So
it's like nizositshontshela la.
Yeah. Yeah, because I can come to your backyard and say, Max, you've got a nice aloe there. Then I just
pick it off, sell it to someone.
And I make money, and then you don't get anything.
Okay, no.
And then find that some of the knowledge actually came and talked to you that, hey, Max, that aloe, what do you use it for? Then you start telling me that no, it actually relieves when someone is sick. It relieves the signs of sinuses and stuff like that. Then I'm like, oh, okay. Then I start harvesting it. You lose, because even though that knowledge that you possess is not protectable, you didn't register it elsewhere, doesn't mean that I can take it, because that is intellectual property. Just because you didn't know, or the people in that particular area didn't know how to protect it, or maybe the knowledge itself can't be protected because it can't be registered to a particular person, because that knowledge exists in a community.
So no one can also claim it. But this thing is tricky.
It's not tricky. It's one of those, and I think it's Africa what we're trying as well is try to regulate that particular exploitation. We have an act, though we don't have regulations. Is the promotion, the promotion of, I forgot the full act, but has to do with indigenous knowledge in South Africa.
Of us protecting it and keeping it sacred. Yes,
and making sure that its commercialization benefits the originators or the indigenous people, if we're to put it.
So tell me, as a TTO incubator, I can call you a TTO incubator?
Yeah.
Yeah. For you to know so much about IP, shouldn't you have a BSc?
Traditionally, not traditionally per se, but the status quo, most people that you get in the field, right?
Okay.
They study science.
You should have science. Because
so that's how most of them. That's why if you check in most of these public entities that have TTOs, you'd get someone with a science background, right? So but it does not mean that if you're from a non-science background, you can't go into the field. For example, my background is in accounting. Ask me about auditing, financial management, financial statements. I'll tell you. But that did not preclude me from going into intellectual property, because intellectual property it's a mixture of three things.
Tell me, sir.
Right?
Tell me.
I don't want to say Holy Trinity for the.
It is Holy Trinity.
No.
Okay.
I still want to go to heaven. So it's science, right? It's science, which is your innovations, your inventors, and everything, right?
And I think material,
it's the science
natural
part.
resources, knowing what is what.
When someone creates something, usually we say it's in the sciences, right? Then we've got the law, right? So the law protects the science. So it's you, Max, you create a formulation to treat sinuses, right? That formulation that you create, there's a science to it, right? Then you've got the law that says, okay, since you came up with that particular science, this is how the law is going to protect you. It's going to protect you through the Patent Act, going to protect you through the Design Act, going to protect you through Copyright Act, going to protect you through the Design Act. Now we're protecting what you create. Then there comes what? Business. How are you going to make money? And that's why it's
it has to go. So law, business, science.
Yeah. So you need people from all these aspects, right? Scientists create, lawyers protect.
Statutory framework.
In our field, in our area, the lawyers will be your patent attorneys.
Oh.
So the ones that would protect, and then you will need commercialization experts to commercialize. So that's where now the three areas come into play.
Well, then tell me, for someone that's not in institutional bound, someone that's osekas, that just invented something, what protects him?
So
what protects this young man?
What protects him, and
where can he go? Actually, maybe should he come to Jimmy?
Yeah. So so intellectual property, right? It's there's an international body, there's a UN body. It's called the World Intellectual Property Organization, which
What is it? WIPO?
yeah, WIPO.
WIPO.
Yeah, the World Intellectual Property
Oh, yes.
Organization. So they're the ones who, for lack of a better word, govern intellectual property
Yes.
within across various governments, right? So in South Africa, we've got a body called the Commission for Companies and Intellectual Property. Yeah, it's the company. I know I'm lying. Companies and Intellectual Property Commission, CIPC.
Oh yeah, CIP. Oh,
Right?
why did you just say CIPC?
No,
sir?
because most people like saying CIPC. I'm like, what does CIPC stand for? They're like, I don't
Commission
know.
of Intellectual
Yeah,
Property.
companies. The first part.
It's company.
People remember the first part.
Companies, intellectual
But after companies, there's
intellectual property commission.
So they deal with the registration of your company and also of your intellectual property. So whatever intellectual property you think you have developed, whether it's a trademark, design, patent, that's where you go. And most innovators, especially in the townships, they actually, I don't know, maybe it's being unaware or not being, they don't get access to this particular information. And people, then they talk to people, they talk to a lot of people, and sometimes there's particular discussions, they destroy what we call novelty.
Novelty, which means the origins or the originality of something.
Basically, because
Okay.
so novelty in patents says that whatever you've developed must be new in the entire world
So no one must ever be.
by the time you disclose it. That's why when you now file for a patent, they will give you a provisional date, saying that now anything back, you've got priority.
Okay.
If after the date anyone comes up with anything similar, you've got priority.
Okay. What is your biggest misconception about incubators?
I think the biggest
This is a myth buster. Come on, guys. I'm trying to
myth buster, right? So I view incubation in this way, right?
Because we are out here thinking with incubators. They're out here. But don't niggas on Mali. These people just are lowering you in, and once you are in, not that they steal your stuff. Remember, this is.
There are cases of entrepreneurs going back to incubators, whether they state funded or private, saying that they stole their idea and everything else, right?
Yes.
But I like giving an analogy when talking about incubators, right? So let's go back to the word incubator, right?
Yes.
When someone says incubator, what comes into your mind? When they say something is being incubated?
I think firstly protecting, because I'm from a plantation type of.
Okay, plantation.
Okay, good. Someone here is literally, I'm not ready to be in the wild.
Yeah.
I have to be incubated into this space,
Yeah.
safe space, and this safe space, my incubator needs to help me find myself.
And that's a perfect analogy, and I like giving an example of chickens.
Okay,
right?
okay, yes, nice.
So a chicken lays an egg, right? And then it needs to incubate that egg. Now it needs to sit on that egg, right? And then sitting on that egg, usually we would call it pre-incubation.
They're pre-incubating.
Yeah, it's pre-incubation. Yeah. Basically, you're trying to check whether it's
Good or not,
everything
yeah.
else. How's the idea? Is the idea good? Is it lacking something? What kind of basic business development can we give it? Right? So after that particular stage, what will happen to the egg? It will crack, and then the chicks will come out, right? Then that's now where the incubation comes in.
That's where the idea is formed now?
Now the idea
Has
has sprouted now, right? And then what does the hen do? The hen protects the chicks, make sure that they've got food and everything else. And then those chicks, those are the incubatees. Those are the SMMEs. Those are your student entrepreneurs. Those are your entrepreneurs that need support from the hen. You see, I'm defining an incubation process.
Yes, and I love this analogy. Oh my God.
So then after that hen has fed and has showed it to the egg, that one is danger. That one is what. Don't make that mistake. That's why if you should notice chickens as they run around.
Yes, it's like bakus, and the mother will even peck.
Yeah,
the
so
small
that, hey,
ones.
don't do that. Do this. Don't go there. So that's what an incubation program should look like, and that's what most of them look like. And once now it's ready to run on its own. Now that small chick can either, now it's a full-grown chicken. Now it can feed for itself, it can fend for itself. And often when it gets lost, it go back to the mother and say, hey, yeah, I'm not understanding something here. Then you still go back by itself, but it's independent. But when it needs support, it goes back. And that's what incubation program, that's in my definition, that's what it should be. That's why even after you graduate from an incubation program, you should still be able to go back and say, hey, yeah, I think
this idea,
something is
not on.
Yeah, and when you come back, as incubators, we shouldn't put you back now and say, no, go back to being an egg. No, we should just give you that support and say, okay, it's 1 or 2, go back. So what we do as well as incubation programs that I've seen that is done is that when now an entrepreneur fails, we leave them to themselves.
And that's where I was about to go.
We leave them to themselves, or we want to start them from zero.
From zero.
Once the egg hatches, can't go back to an egg. It's that story of who came first, the chicken or the egg. So yeah, that's how. So whenever I look at incubation programs and look into designing programs, I always go back to the analogy of a chicken.
Chicken, thank you, sir. And to use your last phrase for my next question is I was going to ask you, what is the biggest reason for startup to fail in your incubation or and then that is the question, and then the follow-up question for that is, how do we prevent it?
Yeah, so in my program they don't fail, guys.
We know. Pella, you have a million. Hey, Uncle Jimmy has a millionaire student on his hands. There's a millionaire student on his hands.
An option, but failure is necessary.
And I remember the first few times. I remember the first few times when I used to come, you like, this is a space, safe space and haven for you to come and fail.
Yeah, you learn through failure. If you start a business and you don't fail, you don't make mistakes, that's great. That's good. There's nothing wrong with it.
You're normally you're the 1% out of the billion.
Okay, but most of the lessons that entrepreneurs learn, they learn through failure. They learn through mistakes. That's why if you are in an incubator, right? Whether you're in an incubator, private, public, CITFA supports a lot of incubators, right? Let's say you are in one of those programs as well. It's okay to fail. And we put so much pressure on our entrepreneurs to say, no, don't fail. You should be making this money and everything else. Yes, that's good. You learn from doing good and you learn from making mistakes. So that's what I'm saying. One of the mistakes that I've seen, I won't point it out because mistakes differ from person to person. Another one would make a mistake of pricing, right? They come up with a product, they price it incorrectly, right? Whereby when they do their product costing, they don't factor in other hidden costs. And now once they leave that particular incubation programs, they realize that, damn, as I was doing product costing, I was not thinking about rent because those are overhead.
Yeah, only rent. It transport to travel to where you're going to buy your stock.
Now that product becomes unaffordable. Right?
Unscalable.
Unscalable. Those are some of the things that we see. And once they learn from that mistake, then they come back stronger. They'll be like, oh no. That's why when you listen to entrepreneurs that make it or that made it as well, they'll tell you that, hey, I've messed up. I was not doing my finances correctly. Hey, my business account, I was using it on weekends. Those are some of the mistakes that they do. So it differs from one another, and I always tell them that embrace your mistake, whatever mistake it is. So yeah, I've seen mistakes differs from one entrepreneur to another. The most common ones that I would say it's the product costing, not being able to separate you yourself as an entrepreneur, as a natural person, from your company, which is a juristic person.
No,
it's a problem.
Let me bring it back. You're 1K, and this thing, I know in business terms, talk about separate yourself, and even the country sees you as a separate entity.
Yeah.
Or the bank, or even SARS.
Even I see, if I see an entrepreneur, the entrepreneur comes and say, I'm Maimela Jimmy, I own this particular company, right? We are done. That's you. Now let's talk about the company as a person.
So now, as Chinama TK, we are all about monetizing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
How do we separate that now?
So, in terms of monetization of your lifestyle, I think that's why SARS has been like, hey, we're losing money here.
Hey, because they called us, it's like all content creators, all crypto traders, they need to declare.
Look at it that way. Look at it this way, right?
No, okay.
Let's look at it this way, right? What's your basic understanding of a sole proprietor?
Person that runs the business by himself.
Yeah. So the business and the person are one and the same thing. It's a sole proprietor.
Oh, okay. No, you've
You
answered.
understand?
You've
So
answered.
now if the content creator makes money,
you're sole proprietor.
Why is it a problem that when SARS says,
okay,
you are making money, you're a business. Yes, you're not registered in the natural sense that you went to CIPC and everything else, but there is
that loophole, man.
that where you're a sole proprietor.
When I can go straight.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it.
I want income tax. I want next. Tax layer, somebody VAT.
Yeah, and you should be paying tax on it because you're generating revenue. And I think that's where
they'll discourage us.
Most content creators, I see them complaining, and I understand.
No, we are complaining.
Paying tax is not nice. Even for someone working, pay is not nice. Pay as you earn is not nice.
Yo, pay as you earn
right?
is not
It's not nice. But imagine now I'm working 9 to 5, right? By virtue of me working, that's my trade. Then the company pays me, then SARS takes their share, right? Now you are on social media, generating content, that's your trade. Now you don't want that money to be taxed. Why?
Because let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Instagram money is not enough. YouTube money is not enough. So what? I go out and do other means of getting sponsorship onto my podcast, getting small people just to come invest in me.
Yeah.
And when they invest in me, I send them the money.
Yeah.
And when they send it to me, SARS comes hollering. Okay, no, you caught me. You caught me. Okay.
Problem solved.
Okay.
Because you said something, saying Instagram money is not enough, money from this public social media platforms is not enough. I agree. That's why SARS has brackets so that if you are making less than a certain threshold, you don't pay.
You don't pay.
If you are making above a certain threshold, you pay.
Okay.
But maybe the argument should be is that since this income for the content creators, it's not fixed, right? You can monetize today, and then tomorrow. Maybe we should look into maybe a specialized bracket for them. Maybe.
Yes, we should look because
but then SARS is very clear. They don't tax you monthly.
Per annum.
Yeah. When do you do your tax records? Per annum.
When you have registered for your company, whatever.
Yeah, it's per annum.
But now look at it for this example. Yeah. YouTube is maybe giving you maybe overall for this annual tax. You have to pay your tax. Your
taxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're looking at money you've gotten from YouTube, TikTok. Oh yeah, TikTok says they're now gonna pay us as Africans now. Finally.
Long time coming. Yeah.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, everyone. Everything you've accumulated this year is 100,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've gotten a sponsorship or even donation of worth million. Okay. What happens now?
Disclose. Remember what I said, Max, right? You are a sole proprietor. Let's look at it from a sole proprietor point of view. Let's look at it as a neutral person.
Okay.
Let's look at it as a sole proprietor, right?
Okay.
This is your trade. Yes. You're a content creator, right? Yes. You make a particular revenue, which is great. You make that particular money. Then you've got donations, you've got sponsorships and everything else coming along the way, right? Yes. Now, let's go for a company, right? Let's say you are running a company. In your company, you are selling clothing, right? As you're selling clothing, there are people that don't donate towards your company. there are people that want to sponsor. Right?
John must declare that.
Yeah, why not?
But I can win lotto and not pay tax.
I feel like you are overcomplicating things. I'm saying
Okay.
the most important things, right, is to disclose.
Okay.
Because SARS will look at it and they'll advise, say that, okay, on term donations, are these donations, are we going to tax them or not? Sponsorships, do they qualify as revenue? But you can't hide and say no. You can't decide for yourself. That's why you need to disclose. You just disclose. And usually you find that SARS will be like, okay, no, these are not taxable. There you go. You're fine.
But now we're scared that they'll say, from that 1 million, it says 600,000.
Then what? Because you look at where the money goes. It goes into the public purse. It goes into building roads. Yes, we have potholes, unfortunately, but that's where the money is supposed to go. Building schools, building hospitals.
Okay, no, Uncle Jimmy, I'll let you have that one.
Yes, it's a difficult thing.
It's a difficult
thing
to digest.
I don't look at my payslip anymore because I'm like, what? Where is this money going? But I'm like, it's me. I'm in a trade.
Mm-hmm.
I'm making money. SARS is taking their portion. And I find it unfair that myself right now, I'm sitting on a very nice table. I'm speaking. I make money. YouTube pays me. Instagram, you name them, they pay me. And that's my trade. But that person doesn't want to pay money over to SARS. But I have to pay. Because what? I'm classified as an employee. And you are content creator, then I shouldn't pay. But we're all trading.
Well, then this is like a country mandate for us to promote entrepreneurship amongst because I think that's how the country will flourish.
Yeah.
To promote entrepreneurship, to promote innovation, invention, innovation.
Yeah.
Let's take tax less on the businessmen.
Yeah.
Let's actually tax less on the innovators.
And that's the discussion that we should be putting forward. Not say we don't want to.
Yeah, not that we don't want to.
Because already
we're doing so much.
Yeah, because already SARS has brackets say that if you're an SMME, you don't get taxed if you're not reaching a particular threshold. Maybe the argument should be that for content creators and traders and all this special.
No, them crypto guys need to pay up. Those guys are living.
Why do they need to pay but you guys don't?
Oh my God, those guys are spending money.
So because someone is making money, they should pay.
Yo.
So I think the argument should be that, okay, taxmen, yes, we are making money, but then we need to push because we need to invest in a lot. But pushing content is not something you don't wake up and there's a lot of planning. There's a lot of buying of equipment. There's a lot of buying of props and everything else. Like I need to invest back into.
And also the guest that day.
And also I need to pay the guest. I need to boost the boost and everything. That's money. Can we look into being maybe being a special category, right? But SARS may come to you and say, yes, but then those expenses, if those expenses are what you call non-taxable expenses, in other words, we will reduce them from taxable income, then you pay less tax.
So you need to find yourself at buying non-taxable goods.
You need to find yourself speaking to a tax practitioner saying, this is Kiids.Cafe. For the year we made 100,000.
Yes.
Right? These were my expenses.
Yes, sir.
Now, from these expenses, which ones are non-taxable and which ones are taxable? Then they will prepare a statement for you and say, okay, from the 100,000, you actually incurred 40,000, which are non-taxable, which means you are left with 60,000. Then the 60,000 becomes taxable. Now SARS will tell you that, okay, no, you are making below the threshold, you don't need to pay tax. See, simple. But disclosing, it's a very difficult. But guys, let's disclose.
It's like I have to disclose to Mama Guti.
It's between you and SARS.
No, but usas fana nokuthi mama wethu phela. Ayisho uyosinakekelaya.
Fair enough.
So now I'm gonna go into the 4IR and AI.
Yeah.
One question.
Yes.
What kind of businesses does South African government need to start betting on for the next 5 years? You are in the game. You are in the system. I think internationally we're supposed to be exporting you, sir. So you could go and spread our knowledge, or maybe go learn something and bring us back here.
So I'm gonna answer this with a few questions, right? What is the USA known for? When you say USA, what is it known for?
The rulers of the world.
And how do they rule?
Through technological advancement.
Great. What is Saudi Arabia known for?
Oil.
What is India known for?
Actually, I was gonna say something racist.
What is India known for?
Spice.
Yeah. So I'm asking these questions because I feel like sometimes, as Africans, and as South Africa in particular, we wanna do everything.
So we need to get back into our speciality.
What are we good at? Like our agricultural sector is great. And where I see why are playing the field, it's in the field of agriculture. I see it playing a role in content creation, in music, in art. That's what we're good at. You look at how Amapiano took over. We're great at that, but then the problem is that now when we talk fire art, we wanna do everything without any
speciality.
If US say no, they are moving into a particular category, we wanna
go.
If they come and USA change, the US in general change their mind every day.
Every day.
Now they will say no, we're interested in this particular field, we want to go. So if we as a continent and as a people, we sit down together and say, what are we actually good at? And we excel at what we are good at. And once we excel at what we are good at, then we can diversify. You look at how the Middle East did it with oil. They made money from oil. A lot of money. They're still making money from it. But what are they trying to do now? They're trying to what? Diversify. Right? They're now going into what? They went into football through the World Cup.
Yes.
They now trying to they got Abu Ronaldo.
It's straight up PR. Straight up PR.
Because they're trying to diversify their income into other resources. They've got a base. They know what they're good at. They know they've got oil. But how do we then diversify as a people? Now, if I ask you, Salka, what are we good at?
Let me.
Let's talk. I already mentioned a few.
I'll speak on because this is just a thought that came about when you're like, we need to integrate it. Music, we're so big with music. There's this guy called Credo V. Daniel. Apparently he made, I'm not quite too sure. Apparently he made all of his music via AI assistants and 4R machines. And everyone is bashing him. So how do we come into normalizing this thing? Because now he was called to go sing and Baza wouldn't know, man, this is not you, this is AI.
So when it comes to that, right, and it's one of those areas that even in the IP fraternity, it's becoming like it is a topic.
I don't think you can IP music. Is it not more copyright?
Copyright is IP.
Oh, sorry, officer.
So the challenge comes, and most of these AI platforms have been sued by creators, by authors, right? Because what an AI traditionally does, it takes works that have been developed by particular people, and they take that work, mix it up, and give it to you. Now, that's why the question comes in that if someone develops a music using artificial intelligence, who owns the music?
Who owns? Because his music is off Apple Music now.
Yeah, who owns it? Is it the author? Is the author the person that types in the prompt? Or what about the person whom that AI learned from? Sometimes doesn't even learn, sometimes doesn't even copies and pastes that particular beat.
And then I'll give you another example. The song that you were playing, Kevin Fallow.
Yeah.
The vocals, that was AI assistants, but was sang by another different. So do they become the holders of this intellectual property?
So when it comes to that, right, the jury's still out, because there are a lot of cases. If you look at how many millions of US dollars OpenAI have been sued by authors for taking their works and everything else. So I think for I'm still waiting to hear where it's going, right? But then traditionally, the person that creates the work should be credited, right? And I think what AI should also do is to disclose where that particular sample came from.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's only fair.
Fair.
You know, a reference for it to say that, oh, I created a beat for you. I actually sampled this and this and this. And that. At the very least, acknowledge the person that created. When you are in academia, when you write your assignment, you acknowledge.
Harvard style. It's Harvard style.
You acknowledge, right? And because music is so nice and it's so artistic, it does allow for chord progression. I think one of the famous cases was, I think it's Marvin Gaye. There was a song, I'll Play It For You.
Okay.
I think it's Marvin Gaye, and I'm not sure. I'm subject to correction. I think it's Ed Sheeran. The song was Let's Get It On.
Yes. I think it's paying him for life now. No, I think it's...
I'll get you the court case, Max. Leave the court case alone. So the court, I think the court said that the Ed Sheeran song was part of chord progression, which is allowed in music.
Progression.
So, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So in academic, sorry to cut you. You've once taught me about fair use. Is that almost like the same? Fair use or use of what?
So the fair use, right? There's fair use, which usually happens when you are using IP, right, for educational purposes,
yes,
not for commercial purposes, for
and
learning,
also
researching.
Not even monetizing purposes.
Yeah, but then in music, you have to get like a music scholar for this. There's what we call chord progression, which was what they used for in that particular case. So I'm not familiar with the arts, right? So for that, you need to get someone who's really who's in the art. But if you listen to the songs, right, I'll just play it for you now.
Yeah, are you sure? Because they're gonna pick it up and the copyright.
It's fair use.
Okay. Oh yes, fair use. Fair use. YouTube, you're not gonna get me down. But they mustn't flag me now.
Yeah. Because this is for educational purposes, right? So, like I said, you need to disclose, right? To say that at this particular part, there's this particular. For example, YouTube flags when people are trying to pass other people's content as their own. You get it.
So now how do I? Okay, now I'll do my research. I'll do my research because now I wanted to know, Guti. No, this is. No, it's fine. But no, I wanted to ask you, Guti, if we include that, I will have to write on my bio that this song is by Ed Sheeran.
Yes. So you see, by writing in your bio, what are you saying? You are attributing that you are not the creator
of the song.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
So let me just,
guys,
I'm just gonna play it just shortly, and I want you to. So it was quite. I enjoyed the case. Let's look at this.
Yes.
And I can't sweep you off of your feet.
This is Ed Sheeran, right? Think out loud. Listen.
Will your mouth still remember the taste of my love? Will your eyes still smile from your cheek? Darling,
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay.
I'm thinking about how.
Ed Sheeran was so smart about it. Then,
No, chord progression. It's like I think in the music and the arts, I think it's allowed. Because I think that was the verdict when it came to.
There was this rapper that died. Was it not Lucid Dream or something like that? He had sampled straight up Sting, Shape of You.
Yeah.
And Sting is now. I think that kid is paying. He's paying Sting like until he's.
I'm not familiar with the case. The only, like I said, I only tell you what I'm familiar with because with this one of Marvin Gaye and Ed Sheeran, we're all waiting to hear what's gonna happen. What's gonna happen? And Ed Sheeran won because he could prove that it was just progression. So I think back to your issues of IP. I think we should really invest in what we're good at.
What are we good at? You didn't answer me that.
Yeah, I think what we're good
and you're speaking to Cupcake.
So I think what we're good at, right?
Can you fix your mic just in case? Yeah.
So I think what we're good at, I think we are, some of the industries we've let them collapse a bit. For example, we're good at weapons. Like
yes.
This airplane that I was looking at, like the rifle of how good it was, right?
Ooh, yes.
So I think issues of weapons. I'm not.
There was this car that was made in South Africa, Marauder or something.
Yeah, and
I'm not
a proponent of weapons. I think we're good at agriculture as well.
Too much.
I think we're quite good. I think there's a lot of investment to be done in agriculture, and I think there's a big role artificial intelligence can play into it in this particular sector. I think we're good in the arts. I think we're good in mining.
Yes,
and we can make a lot of we can develop a lot of machine learning and artificial intelligence systems in this art. The only problem that I'm having, which I'm not happy with our government, is that they've been preaching and saying a lot of beneficiation of minerals, which other words? Because
compensation of?
No, to say that when we mine gold, right? We mine it, we take it to
export.
We export it as raw, pay less. We import it back as a diamond ring and pay a lot of money.
Oh, that's what you're not up for.
No, that's what I'm up for. That's why I don't understand why we're not doing it. Why are we not beneficiating our own minerals in our own country? Why can't we mine gold, mine diamonds in Kimberley, take them to a plant right there in Kimberley, doesn't have to leave, then we sell the finished goods, see, called progression, and then we sell the finished goods to Europe when they're finished.
This is one of the mandates of EFF, nationalization. Before
I'm not a politician. I'm not subscribed to any political party. But all I'm saying, it's not only the EFF to be
I'm
fair.
not pushing no mandate for them, but it's something that for anyone that's out there, it's one of their mandates. If you want to take take it, Mara, just behind the corner, there's a refinery there. They'll refine it, they'll make the structure, and then we take it there.
But I think let's give credit where it's due to say that most political parties, right, progressive political parties, it's what they've been preaching, right, including the ruling party, they've been preaching it, right. The problem that comes, and which is where EFF noticed that they've been saying this, but they're not doing it. Why are we not beneficiating our own minerals? Which is what the opposition has been fighting for. So our leaders know what needs to be done. They're just not doing it.
I'm not gonna go into what.
So
that's that.
We're still on IP, right?
We're still on IP. It's still very informative. IP and also A4R. And tell me about township or rural innovation. How can that be bridged? How can even this great University of Johannesburg capacitate the people from the township? Intona zam zasePimville, intona zam zaseFoslos, yakhala zithi asina funding man.
So I'm speaking as Jimmy, ne? Yes. I took off my orange hat.
Yes.
Right? So I think when it comes to the rural township and the township economy, I was talking to an innovator, and we're talking about how the government wants to establish South African Spaza shops. Right? Great initiative, great one, right? But if you look at the model that we are trying to impose on our township startups, we say to them that, okay, you want to start a local Spaza shops? Great. Where's your certificate of compliance? You don't have. Where are your licenses? Where are your compliances, right? But someone comes from the eastern part of Africa. They set up their building is not compliant, they start selling, right? So my point is, it's hard for township economies to rise when the same restrictions that are put under, which are necessary.
Yeah.
Why are they not being forced on others that are trading informally? Right? You go to an established business, right? At the back of the cashier, if you go to like a garage, a petrol station, right? You see certificate of acceptability, you see all the different licenses that they got. To a certain extent, others even have licenses from
emergency,
Samro or Sapra for the music that they play as well. But you go to the townships, still talking about Spaza shops, there's no certificate you're going to see. There's no certificate from the municipality that you're going to see. But right now, if you understand, the municipality is going to come and say, no, where are those particular? And I think enforcement, right? It's where we are lacking to say that if you're going to say the township economies should abide by these particular regulations, let them apply to everyone. This may be controversial and political, but let's shut down all the Spaza shops.
Okay.
Let everyone apply using the same standard.
So,
in other words, let everyone have those particular certificates of acceptability. Let them have all those particular legislations and everything else in place, and then you'll see, because it's once you have that, because because township economies and businesses sometimes they find it hard to succeed because they're being suffocated. Because if you look at how the township economy is ran by our
cabals,
our colleagues from east of the continent, they own the entire ecosystem, right? They buy from each other. When they buy together, they buy from each other. So in other words, if I'm producing acha, right, and I want to sell to the Spaza shop, for me to penetrate that would be difficult, because now the supplier of, and forgive me for this, of Mohammed is the same supplier for Rajesh, and you name them, right? So how do you then penetrate it? So to penetrate, we need our own ecosystem. Without your own ecosystem, we will forever be at the back foot.
I just, not that I disagree that we need to have an ecosystem. We need to have a progressive ecosystem. Yeah. But this compliance, these committee, what, there's flipping red tapes.
But because red tapes are necessary. Imagine.
Because you're still dealing in South Africa. You're still dealing with a South African umama onganayo ID.
That's what I'm saying.
You're still dealing with a child without a mapep.
I'm agreeing 100%. That's what I'm saying. Why is the umama at the corner when she trades is a problem, but someone in a back room when they trade is not a problem?
I mean, I don't think, no, maybe.
Why are there two sets of rules for the same entrepreneur?
Okay, no, that's fair.
And we are trying, and I love this the Sponsorship Empowerment Fund, what the government wants to do, and I applaud it. And we need more of this. But
I say remove red tape. Let people access the market to everyone, even those that are not documented. I think the only thing we need to have is regulatory systems or compliance into where they're gonna go procure this food. Because we don't want another situation of another kid dying because of food. I think I think our Simba, Rupert, our head boy, our head boy needs to make sure the food Nayas keep eye. Not everyone should just. We should just trust. Not that we should just trust him, but he's a conglomerate. He's a consortium that's known. When a Tiger Foods or Tiger Brands food, when Unilever, we know everything has went through quality assurance, quality control. So why does this Makoko needs to make sure that her product is okay?
Okay, I think
that means
what needs to happen, right? You raise good points, but you know when you're dealing with food, right? Food is a problem, right?
Too much.
That's why I said the same standards we're putting for the local markets for our African brothers. We should enforce them the same way we're enforcing for upcoming township entrepreneurs. Papers aside, if we're saying for you to sell food, you need a certificate of acceptability from the municipality, whom are supposed to come and check whether the place can store food, can trade with food. Let it apply holistically, right?
Okay, so
Because when you come, and another thing with the township economy, right? If I'm starting a Spaza shop, right? What the government will expect from me is to actually buy the goods from a reputable store,
supply.
right? Reputable supplier. But if you check in the townships, the most goods that are sold by the shops in the townships, in the rural areas, they thrive on counterfeit. So now I'm gonna come and sell my cigarette for 250. You're gonna come and sell for R1. Where do you think people are gonna go and buy?
Malema in general can.
Exactly. Where do you think they're gonna go and buy? So even if you empower me, even if you empower me, you buy me all the stock, but the fact that I'm buying them legitimately, my cost inherently will be higher. But because someone
is beating the
beating the system, is buying counterfeit, they're selling R1 cigarettes, how are we supposed to compete?
I think that's also one of the reasons why ngabuza lenye Grootman ngathi Grootman why am Spaza shop angavuki like us as abodaki uthi no, we cannot compete.
You can't compete with them.
You cannot.
You can't.
Oh my god.
Which is quite unfortunate. How do you compete? A mere cigarette. If there's something that sells in supermarket, in the local market, cigarette. All other things I see, great. They've got other things. Cigarette. That's why there was a case of counterfeiting of Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I remember that.
So that they can be able to sell it for less. So now I'm gonna go and buy directly to Coca-Cola beverages, and then I'm gonna add my own my own organic
Remuneration.
proper markup.
Yeah.
You, because you're getting elsewhere, you're maybe making it yourself in your own back room, you can underprice to me and you can suffocate me.
Too much.
Then now I'm gonna end up with stock. Now once I go out of business, your price now is gonna now become the same price as mine. Because now I'm done and out.
Sure. Oh my god. It's a scary thing that we're talking about, and for a lot of people that are not ready for this fight. The revolution will not be televised.
It's always been televised. I think what we need action from our leaders. We need to actually take back the economy. We need to find a way for, and even the, how do I put it, the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. I feel like we're too slow on in this world.
In AGOA?
No, AFCTA.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the implementation is a bit slow for my liking, because I go to the shop, you go to any supermarket, right? Any major one. And I want you to tell me of how many products in that particular supermarket will you find that were made outside of South Africa. But then when I speak to my friends and colleagues outside of the South Africa, for example, in East Africa, in Tanzania, they will tell you that we actually consume South African made products.
Shucks.
Skincare, you find that the consumer South African made products. But then when I have to buy, the most I've seen outside South Africa, I've seen products made from I think it's somewhere in the Middle East.
Middle East?
Yeah, I think the product brand, I'm not sure of the brand name, I won't say it, but then it's that they make skin products and they sell it to us. Why am I not getting skin products from your Nigeria, your Tanzania, your Congo, depending on whether it's Congo Brazzaville or Congo Kinshasa? Why?
Oh.
We need to be intentional about our dreams. And we're not intentional about our dreams.
So, and like this conversation has been so meaningful. I'm going to edit this now. I'm going to edit this now. What time are you leaving?
Now, what time? What time is it now?
It's 3.
I'm gonna leave around 4.
Yeah, no, that's the. No, let's shut it down, sir. And I think I want to get another session with you now. No,
Max,
please.
I want to record a monologue just now.
Okay. Guys, please watch the podcast. Follow us on all the social media platforms. You know, from the youth to the youth. All love, man. All love. Jimmy, no, thank you.